अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम EDUA510 के मिड टर्म प्रिपरेशन के हवाले से लेक्चर वाइज इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स स्टार्ट करने लगे हैं। पार्ट 1 है ये इन क्वेश्चन आंसर्स का, जिसमें हम लेक्चर नंबर 1 से लेक्चर नंबर 11 तक के तमाम इंपॉर्टेंट जो शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स हैं उनको कवर करेंगे। ये बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट वीडियो है आपके लिए, कंप्लीट जरूर देखिएगा क्योंकि इससे आप जो है लॉन्ग क्वेश्चंस भी अपने अच्छे परफॉर्म कर सकेंगे अगर आप ध्यान से इन क्वेश्चन आंसर्स को अंडरस्टैंड कर लेंगे। ठीक है, तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। Why is teaching and learning considered a complex process? Teaching and learning is a complex process because every student learns at different times, rate, and ways. What is one major aim of teaching mathematics? One major aim of teaching mathematics is to develop logical and critical thinking in a student. How does mathematics help in problem solving? Mathematics help student analyze situations and solve problems using reasoning skills. Why is mathematical curiosity important? Mathematical curiosity encourages student to explore, question, and learn new concepts. What is the role of ICT in mathematics? ICT helps a student understand mathematical concepts through technology and digital tools. How does mathematics support technological development? Mathematics provide the foundation for science and technology and engineering fields. What educational values does mathematics develop? Mathematics develop knowledge, skills, confidence, and positive attitude. Why is mathematics important in everyday life? It's important for budgeting, finance, shopping, and decision making. How is statistics useful for citizenship? It helps citizens understand data and make informed decisions. Why are mathematical skills important in workplaces? Mathematical skills are needed for calculations, analysis, and solving workplace problems. What is the function of mathematics in education? Mathematics helps students acquire reasoning, problem solving, and life skills. How is mathematics related to other subjects? Mathematics supports subjects like science, geography, economics, and arts. What does an actuary do? An actuary analyzes statistics to calculate risk related to death, sickness, and property loss. What is the work for a cryptologist? A cryptologist designs systems to transmit secret information securely. How do inventory strategists use mathematics? They use mathematics to analyze sales data and forecast uncertainty. Why is mathematics important in science? It is important in scientific calculation, measurements, and experiments. How is mathematics used in geography? Mathematics help understand elevation, population data, and geographical measurements. What is the role of mathematics in arts? Mathematics is used in music rhythms, patterns, and geometrical designs in arts. Why is mathematics called the key economic prosperity? Mathematics improves planning, business operations, and technological progress which support economic growth. How does mathematics help students in future studies? Mathematics develops skills and knowledge needed for higher education and professional careers. What is the purpose of the counting and sorting kit? The counting and sorting kit helps a student learn counting, sorting, and classification. What is number board? A number board is a chart used for learning and recognizing numbers. What materials are included in the 2D shapes class kit? The 2D shape class kit includes 10 grams, pattern blocks, and attribute blocks. What is the purpose of the 3D shapes class kit? The 3D shapes class kit helps students identify and describe three-dimensional shapes. What does the place value class kit teach? The place value class kit teaches the concept of place value and digit position. Why is money class kit important? The money class kit develops financial literacy and understanding of money value. What is taught through the fraction class kit? The fraction class kit teaches fraction and equivalence step by step. What is the function of geometry kit? Geometry kit helps the student compare, construct, and explore shapes. Name any two articles of a geometry kit. Ruler and protractor are two articles of a geometry kit. What are audiovisual aids? Audiovisual aids are sensory materials that stimulate and support learning. What is the difference between visual and audio aid? Visual aids are seen while audio aids are heard. Why are AV aids important in teaching? AV aids increase motivation, attention, and retention in learning. What are projected AV aids? Projected AV aids are aids shown through projectors like OHP and film strips. Give two examples of non-projected AV aids. Charts and flashcards are examples of non-projected AV aids. What are the principles of selecting AV aids? AV aids should suit learners' age, be motivating, and achieve learning objectives. What is the role of cartoons in teaching? Cartoons make learning interesting and attractive for students. What is the use of graphs in mathematics? Graphs show numerical and statistical relationships visually. What are charts used for? Charts help present facts and ideas in visual form. What is curriculum? Curriculum is a course of study covered within a specific time period. What are the stages of national mathematics and curriculum? The curriculum is divided into 5 stages from grade 1 to grade 12. What is the main theme of mathematics curriculum? The main theme is to build a strong conceptual foundation in mathematics. How does geometry help the student? Geometry helps the student think logically and reason systematically. Why are graphics important in mathematics curriculum? Graphics help a student visualize and interpret mathematical expressions correctly. What role does technology play in mathematics curriculum? Technology supports learning and understanding of mathematics concepts. How many standards are included in mathematics curriculum? There are 5 standards in the mathematics curriculum. Name any 2 standards of mathematics curriculum. Number and operations and algebra are 2 standards of mathematics curriculum. What is the purpose of benchmarks? Benchmarks serve as a guide to achieve curriculum standards. What are students expected to achieve through benchmark? Students are expected to attain competencies and each developmental stage. What is taught in stage 1 of number and operations? Students learn counting, reading, and writing numbers up to 999. What is taught in stage 5 algebra? Students learn to solve equations with complex coefficients. What are student learning outcomes? Student learning outcomes describe what students should know and demonstrate after learning. How should learning outcomes be written? Learning outcomes should be written with clear and measurable active verbs. Why should unmeasurable verbs be avoided in SLOs? Unmeasurable verbs make assessment difficult. What is solo taxonomy? Solo taxonomy means structure of observed learning outcomes. What is the role of mathematics teacher? A mathematics teacher plans, organizes, leads, and controls learning activities. How does a teacher support students in mathematics? A teacher supports creativity and rational understanding of concepts. What is meant by planning in teaching? Planning means setting goals, making strategies, and organizing activities. What is organizing in teaching? Organizing means assigning and grouping tasks effectively. What is the purpose of controlling in teaching? Controlling ensures that tasks are completed according to plan. Why is assessment important in planning? Assessment helps teachers measure students' learning and achievements. What is the role of a teacher as an organizer? A teacher as an organizer defines, assigns, and manages tasks for students. Why is task grouping important in mathematics teaching? Task grouping helps a student work effectively and learn cooperatively. How do teachers support problem solving? Teachers guide students towards suitable methods and simpler patterns. Why are classroom support materials important? Classroom support materials help a student understand concepts better. What is the purpose of assessment in organizing? Assessment helps teachers check pupils' achievements and feedback. What is the role of teachers as an encourager? A teacher as an encourager motivates and supports students in learning. How do support remarks help students? Support remarks increase the students' confidence and motivation. Why is appreciation important in teaching? Appreciation encourages students to achieve learning objectives. What is the role of a negotiator in mathematics teaching? A negotiator works with management for curriculum and student support. Why does a teacher justify the use of equipment? Teacher justify equipment because it improves mathematics learning. What is the role of mediator in teaching? A mediator helps create understanding among the students and parents. How does a mediator support students? A mediator helps a student choose the right problem solving approach. What are effective teaching strategies in mathematics? Effective teaching strategies are methods that improve learning and understanding. Name any two teaching methods used in mathematics. Problem solving method and discovery method are teaching methods in mathematics. What is the investigation method? The investigation method is a discovery process where students solve problems independently. What is the first step in investigation method? The first step is the statement of the problem. Why is data collection important in investigation? Data collection helps the student understand and solve problems correctly. What should students do if their first conjecture is wrong? Students should try a new concept or approach. What are the advantages of investigation method? It promotes creativity and suits mixed ability groups. What is one limitation of investigation method? Investigation method can be time consuming and needs high teacher support. What is investigation method in mathematics? Investigation method helps students discover solution through problem solving activities. What is the first step of investigation method? The first step is understanding the problem. What does the plan step involve? The plan step involves deciding a strategy to solve the problem. Why is checking important in investigation method? Checking helps students verify the correctness of their results. What is lecture method? Lecture method is a teaching method in which the teacher delivers information through speech. What is the role of a student in lecture method? The student listen carefully and understand the teacher's explanation. What are the advantages of lecture method? Lecture method help teach large classes and explain content clearly. What is one disadvantage of lecture method? Lecture method allows limited student participation. Why is lecture discussion method effective? Lecture discussion method becomes effective because discussion increase understanding. What is problem solving method? Problem solving method teaches knowledge in the form of problems. What is the first step in problem solving method? The first step is recognizing the problem. Why is data collection important in problem solving? Data collection helps students organize information systematically. What are the merits of problem solving method? It develops reasoning, reflective thinking, and self dependence. What is one demerit of problem solving method? Problem solving method is time consuming. How many wheels does a tricycle have? A tricycle has 3 wheels. Why does problem solving require systematic thinking? Systematic thinking helps a student find correct solutions logically. What is inductive method? Inductive method moves from specific example to general rules. What is deductive method? Deductive method move from general rules to specific example. वाइस वर्सा होते हैं दोनों मेथड एक दूसरे के. What is one advantage of inductive method? Inductive method develops logical thinking and active participation. What is one disadvantage of inductive method? Inductive method has limited scope and may be difficult for slow learners. What is inductive method in mathematics? Inductive method moves from specific example to general rules. What did the student discover by measuring triangle angles? Student discovered that the sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degree. What is learned from adding odd numbers? The student learned that the sum of two odd numbers is an even number. अच्छा ये क्वेश्चन है आपके लेक्चर के हिसाब से सारे बने हुए हैं, ठीक है, लेकिन ये जनरल क्वेश्चंस हैं, ठीक है. आंसर सेम हो सकता है, पूछने का तरीका कुछ डिफरेंट हो सकता है, ठीक है. तो आपको ये चीजें ना जहन में रखनी है, याद रखनी है, ठीक है. हो सकता है कि सवाल किसी और अंदाज में पूछा जा रहा हो लेकिन उसका जवाब यही बनता हो, ठीक है. तो ये आपको अपना कॉमन सेंस को इस्तेमाल करना है इन क्वेश्चंस में, ठीक है. ये क्वेश्चन सिर्फ शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस के लिए ही नहीं, लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन में भी आपकी हेल्प कर सकते हैं अगर आप इन्हें सही से अंडरस्टैंड करें और साथ ही आप लेक्चर्स भी तमाम अटेंड करें तो ये आपके लिए बहुत ज्यादा हेल्पफुल होगा, ठीक है जी. Why is inductive method important? Inductive method develops observation and reasoning skills. What is deductive method? Deductive method moves from general rules to specific examples. What is the first step of deductive method? The first step is giving a formula or rule to a student. What is one advantage of deductive method? Deductive method saves time in solving problems. What is one disadvantage of deductive method? Deductive method may lead to blind memorization. Why is combined use of inductive and deductive methods recommended? Combined use reduces the weakness of both methods. Write the formula of a plus b whole square. The formula is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Expand x plus 1 whole square. The expansion of x plus 1 whole square is x square plus 2x plus 1. What is discovery method? Discovery method help a student learn through exploration and problem solving. What is the main goal of discovery method? The main goal is to teach students how to learn independently. What is guided discovery? Guided discovery is learning under teacher's supervision. What is pure discovery? Pure discovery is learning with very little teacher supervision. How does discovery method help students? Discovery method develops higher order thinking and problem solving skills. What formula is used for the sum of consecutive numbers? The formula that is used for the sum of consecutive number is n into n plus 1 divided by 2. What is the sum of numbers from 1 to 100? The sum is 5050. What is the sum of numbers from 1 to 1000? The sum is 500500. What skills are developed through discovery method? Discovery method develops generalization and application skills. What is heuristic method? Heuristic method is a teaching method in which students discover knowledge themselves. What does the word heuristic means? The word heuristic means I find. What is the role of teacher in heuristic method? The teacher acts as a guide and observer. What is one merit of heuristic method? Heuristic method promotes creative and active thinking. What is one demerit of heuristic method? Heuristic method is time consuming. Why is heuristic method important? It develops self-reliance and problem-solving skills in students. That's why it's important. Give one example of heuristic method. Student may discover the properties of a parallelogram themselves. It's a one example of heuristic method. What is analytic method? Analytic method moves from unknown to known. What does analysis means in mathematics? Analysis means breaking a problem into smaller understandable parts. What is one merit of analytic method? Analytic method develops logical understanding. What is one demerit of analytic method? Analytical method is lengthy and time consuming. What is synthetic method? Synthetic method moves from known facts to unknown conclusion. सिंथेटिक मेथड में नोन से अननोन की तरफ जा रहे होते हैं, ठीक है। सिंथेटिक मेथड में नोन से अननोन की तरफ जा रहे होते हैं, जबकि एनालिटिकल मेथड में अननोन से नोन की तरफ जा रहे होते हैं, ठीक है। What is one merit of synthetic method? Synthetic method is short and elegant. What is one demerit of synthetic method? Synthetic method may leave doubts in learner's mind. How are analytic and synthetic methods related? Synthetic method is opposite to analytic method. ठीक है, जैसे मैंने पहले भी बताया था आपको. Which method starts from unknown to known? Analytic method starts from unknown to known. Which method starts from known to unknown? Synthetic method starts from known to unknown. What are analytic and synthetic method used together? Why are analytic and synthetic method used together? They help improve understanding and problem solving. What is the main focus of analytic method? The main focus is logical and step-by-step reasoning. What is the main focus of synthetic method? The main focus is reaching conclusions quickly from known facts. What is dogmatic method? Dogmatic method is a teaching method based on strict rules and formulas. What does rigor mean in mathematics? Rigor means a strict and exact following of mathematical rules. What is one merit of dogmatic method? Dogmatic method saves time and improves speed in solving problems. What is one demerit of dogmatic method? Dogmatic method encourages mechanical cramming. This is the demerit of dogmatic method. Why is dogmatic method unsuitable for student? It gives information without proper understanding. What is laboratory method? Laboratory method is learning mathematics through practical work and activities. What principle is laboratory method based on? It is based on learning by doing and observation. What is one merit of laboratory method? Laboratory method makes learning interesting and joyful. What is one demerit of laboratory method? Laboratory method is expensive and time consuming. Why is supervision necessary in laboratory method? Supervision prevents students from wasting time with instruments. In which area is laboratory method mainly used? It is mainly used in practical geometry. What is project method? Project method is learning through purposeful real-life activities. Who introduced project method philosophy? John Dewey introduced the philosophy of pragmatism behind project method. What are the two types of project? The two types are individualized project and social project. What is the first step of project method? The first step is providing the situation. What is the last step of project method? The last step is judging the project work. What is one merit of project method? Project method develops self-confidence and inquiry skills. What is one demerit of project method? Project method requires much time and efforts. Why does project method need close supervision? Without supervision, students may waste time. Give one example of project method in mathematics. School bank project is an example of project method in mathematics. What is cooperative learning? Cooperative learning is a method in which students work together in small groups. How many students usually form a cooperative group? A cooperative group usually contains 4 to 6 students. What is the role of teacher in cooperative learning? The teacher guides, assists, and encourages group work. What is positive interdependence? Positive interdependence means the students depend on each other for success. What is individual accountability? Individual accountability means every student is responsible for learning. What is one advantage of cooperative learning? It promotes teamwork and cooperation among students. What is one limitation of cooperative learning? It requires careful planning and management. What is collaborative learning? Collaborative learning is learning through together to achieve a common goal. Name two models of cooperative learning: Jigsaw method and think, pair, share are cooperative learning models. What is Jigsaw method? Jigsaw method is a cooperative technique in which students become experts on one topic. What is the first step in Jigsaw method? The first step is assigning students different topic segments. What is one merit of Jigsaw method? Jigsaw method develops listening and interaction skill. What is one limitation of Jigsaw method? Jigsaw method require time and resources. अच्छा देखिए, मैं आपको बार बार यही बता रही हूँ कि ये शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर जो है ना, ये आपको लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन में भी सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, जैसे देखिए यहाँ पे जिक्सो मेथड से रिलेटेड 4-5 सवाल आ गए। ठीक है, ये 4-5 सवाल जो है इनके जवाब मिला के एक लॉन्ग आंसर भी बन सकता है। ठीक है, अगर उन्होंने सिर्फ आपसे पूछ लिया जिक्सो मेथड के बारे में कि उसको आप एक्सप्लेन करें, तो इन 4-5 सवालों के जवाब से ना आप एक लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन का आंसर बना सकते हैं। ठीक है, तो इसीलिए मैं आपसे कह रही हूँ कि इन क्वेश्चंस को आप ध्यान से समझें, ध्यान से याद रखें, ध्यान से सुने, ताकि आपके लॉन्ग क्वेश्चंस में भी आपके काम आ सके। ठीक है, आई होप कि अब आप अंडरस्टैंड कर रहे होंगे मेरी इस बात को। ठीक है ना, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। व्हाट इज थिंक, पेयर, शेयर मेथड? Think, pair, share is a cooperative learning technique with 3 stages. Who develop think, pair, share? Frank Lehman develop think, pair, share. What happens in think stage? Student think individually about question. What happens in pair stage? Student discuss answer with partners. What happens in the share stage? Students share their ideas with the whole class. Why is think, pair, share important? It improves communication and critical skills. What is the teacher's role in think, pair, share? The teacher record responses and guides discussion. What is think, pair, share method? Think, pair, share is cooperative learning method with think, pair, and share stages. What happens in think stage? Students solve the problem individually. रिपीट हो रहे हैं कि पेयर स्टेज में क्या है, शेयर स्टेज में क्या है। ठीक है, व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ टीचर्स इन टीपीएस? Teachers monitor and guide students during discussion. What is time distribution in mathematics? Time distribution is the planning of teaching schedules and lesson timings. Why is time distribution important? It helps teachers manage workload and teaching activities. Who benefits from time distribution? Teachers, planners, and managers benefit from time distribution. What is assessment? Assessment is the process of collecting information about student learning. What is the main purpose of assessment? The main purpose is to improve student learning through feedback. What is evaluation? Evaluation is making judgments based on assessment result. Name 2 types of assessment. The two types are formative assessment and summative assessment. What is formative assessment? Formative assessment monitors learning and provides ongoing feedback. What is summative assessment? Summative assessment evaluates learning at the end of instruction. Give one example of summative assessment. Midterm examination is an example of summative assessment. What is the focus of assessment in mathematics? It focuses on reasoning, communication, and problem solving. Why is assessment called the engine of learning? Because it drives and shapes student learning. What is the purpose of testing in mathematics? Testing checks student knowledge and understanding. How does evaluation help teacher? It guides teacher in improving teaching methods and curriculum. Why are tests important in evaluation? Tests are the main tools used to measure learning achievements. What are tests in mathematics? Tests are tools used to measure students' achievement and understanding. What is validity in testing? Validity means a test measure what it is intended to measure. What is reliability in testing? Reliability means consistency of test result. What does utility mean in testing? Utility means the usefulness of test. What is diagnostic testing? Diagnostic testing identifies what students know and do not know. What is formative testing? Formative testing checks student learning during instruction. What is summative testing? Summative testing evaluates learning at the end of instruction. What are proficiency tests? Proficiency tests measure learner ability according to standards. Give two examples of proficiency tests. TOEFL and IELTS are proficiency tests. What are objective tests? Objective tests have clear right or wrong answer. What are subjective tests? Subjective tests require examiner judgment for making. What is a combination test? A combination test includes both objective and subjective questions. What is traditional examination? Traditional examination is paper-based assessment system. What is the role of invigilation? Invigilation ensures fair conduct during examination. What does HSSE stand for? HSSE stands for Higher Secondary School Examination. Why should question paper be balanced? Balanced papers properly cover all topics and difficulty levels. What is the total mathematics mark in assessment? The total mathematics marks are 150. What is the weightage of average questions? Average questions carry 70% weightage. Why is unit-wise weightage important? It helps in planning, teaching, and assessment properly. Which grade 1 units have the highest weightage? Concepts of whole number and number operations have the highest weightage. इसके साथ ही हमारी ये वीडियो यहीं मुकम्मल होती है। पार्ट 1 इन क्वेश्चन आंसर्स का हमारे यहाँ कंप्लीट हो जाता है। मुझे उम्मीद है कि आपके लिए बहुत यूजफुल रहेगा। वीडियो पसंद आई हो तो लाइक जरूर कीजिएगा और इसे मस्ट अपने फेलो स्टूडेंट के साथ शेयर करें। वर्चुअल यूनिवर्सिटी के डिफरेंट ग्रुप्स पे, डिफरेंट फोरम्स पे इसको शेयर करें ताकि मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट इन वीडियो से फायदा हासिल कर सके। कोई फीडबैक आप देना चाहें तो कमेंट सेक्शन में जरूर आप मुझे बताइएगा। मैं इंशाल्लाह पूरी कोशिश करूंगी आपको टाइमली रिस्पॉन्स देने की। चैनल पर नए हैं तो सब्सक्राइब करना हरगिज़ ना भूलिएगा। मैं इंशाल्लाह ताला अपने नेक्स्ट वीडियो के साथ जल्द हाजिर होंगी। तब तक आप सब अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफिज।